5 modern-day accounts of animal mutilations. Number 5. Calves mutilated, Missouri, 2014. The day after he realized that one of his calves was missing in July 2014, a rancher in Missouri made the grim discovery of its mutilated corpse. While doing his daily count of his herd, a buzzard in one of his fields caught his attention. As he made his way over to the bird's location, he discovered the mutilated calf that it was feeding on. Examination of the calf revealed some horrific injuries. Its internal organs had been cleanly removed, and its entire body had been completely drained of blood. All that remained were its hide and bones. The rancher reported the case to a local radio station, which in turn made a report to MUFON. Due to similar incidents involving other cattle owners and their herds in the area, the rancher was said to have then sold all of his calves before he lost any more. According to the report, one particular rancher in Missouri had lost 15 calves to similar attacks. Coincidentally or not, the state of Missouri was said to be on UFO alert rating of 3 at the time of the incidents, meaning that over 25 reports of UFO sightings were made in the period of a month. According to this same data, Missouri had the 4th highest amount of sightings in the United States during this period. Number 4. Over a decade of mutilations, Wales, 2001-present. The Animal Pathology Field Unit had been investigating animal mutilations in Wales for over a decade by the time they announced in 2013 that they strongly suspected aliens may be responsible for the attacks. Phil Hoyle of Animal Pathology Field Unit has stated that the organization is looking at the UFO connection, in part, due to the precise nature of the injuries as well as what appears to be a lack of blood where the animals were found. Further still, he stated that farmers had reported unusual lights over their land at the same time the mutilations were thought to have happened, while some members of the larger community had witnessed strange objects going in and out of the sea. These are not done by satanic cults, Hoyle told the Western Mail. These are very sophisticated, whether done by aliens, military or some clandestine monitoring. Something unusual is going on. Hoyle even went on to claim that Wales, along with the United States, was a hot spot for these kinds of strange animal mutilations. Some examples of these mutilations include a dead lamb being found in Begelert, Gwynedd, in 2001. A strange hole in the shape of an oval created by some undeterminable mechanism was discovered in its hip bone. In 2002, over the course of a week, Brook Farm in PLWMP, dived, lost a total of 6 rams and 6 ewes. All were discovered with precise cuts made to their jaws and tongues. In 2009, at Woodside Farm, 4 ewes were discovered dead, with strips of their face missing. According to the farmer, between 15 and 20 of his ewes would simply disappear each year. Number 3. Regular mutilations in Colorado since 1999. Tom Miller first began to notice strange killings and mutilations of his animals in 1999, by which time his family had been raising cattle in Colorado for 3 generations. According to Miller, the mutilations have been happening regularly ever since. He states that he has found cattle with eyes missing, limbs cut off, tongues cut out, and even some with their ears removed, always with laser-like precision. In most cases, the animal's body was also completely drained of blood. Some skeptics argue that the injuries are just the work of natural predators, but Miller dismisses this theory. While he admits that he doesn't know what is behind the attacks, he rules out that they are the result of other animals, stating to the media, "Predators don't drink 11 pounds of blood and leave the carcasses intact." While some cattle mutilation investigators have made connections to UFO activity and alien involvement, investigator Chris O.F. Bryan believes that the mutilations are more likely the result of a secret government testing program. He believes that the apparent increase in mutilation cases since the late 1990s and 2000s is due to the mad cow disease scare in England in 1996. O.F. Bryan states that when the affected animals were destroyed, their bodies were made into fertilizer and then shipped worldwide. The mutilations are, according to him, likely to be secret testing of animals to ensure that there is not another outbreak of the deadly disease. Number 2. Weekend mutilations, Argentina, 2014. In September 2014, Argentinian radio station Radio Eminsor announced several cases of cattle mutilations that allegedly occurred in May of that year. One in particular, which took place in Reconquista, Santa Fe, seemed to suggest that some kind of strange, abnormal activity had taken place in the days leading up to the actual attack. The animal was said to have been showing signs of severe distress on Friday, May 15. It appeared to be trembling and was generally rattled and confused. Following that weekend, on Monday, May 18, the cow was found dead, with very precise cuts made to its face and jaw. During the same weekend, 2 other cattle farmers were said to have made reports of very similar grim discoveries of their animals, each with the same precise surgical injuries. One of these was at Osvaldo Merga Farm, in the Villa Ocampo district. The other was in the Tartagal district, around 20 kilometers away on land owned by the Miranda family. According to the report, there have also been several other stories of such attacks in the area dating back to the beginning of 2014, with no explanation for the horrific injuries to any of the animals. Number 1. Strange Summer of Animal Mutilations, Vancouver, 1990. When Oregon State University investigated and analyzed the corpses of the 5 dead cattle that Richard Fazio had discovered on his range, they discovered that their injuries were heat-induced and that they were consistent with electrosurgical excision. In other words, they were not simple animal attacks and unlikely to be the work of a typical prankster. The incidents occurred between June and October 1990 and bore all the hallmarks of state-of-the-art technology being used. Internal organs, eyes, and tongues were removed from the animals, with some of these eventually being found discarded and scattered in fields that ran along the Columbia River. According to statements from neighbors, strange sounds were often heard throughout the summer of 1990, sounds that did not appear to be the noise of farm machinery that they would expect to hear. Even more bizarrely, one woman told of how she was driving home one evening that summer and was surprised somewhat by a little man she saw running in a field, who appeared to be carrying a flashlight. Although the Vancouver incidents appeared to have been isolated to the summer of 1990, nearly a decade later in February 1999, a UFO report was made by forest workers near at Mount St. Helens. They claimed that they saw a flying metallic object lift an elk into the air with what appeared to be an invisible beam. Witnesses even stated that as they saw the elk being pulled upward, it appeared to be turning slowly in the air as if being rotated purposely.